Hey, welcome back, everybody. Yeah, a little bad news. The recording stuff we were using before didn't capture the last few videos, so whatever. So I'm gonna do a little recap here of rebuilding these batteries. What we've got are these Mopar. I think they were out of a Ram or maybe a Jeep or something. I don't know. Got them from battery hookup. They came in a nice glass fiber reinforced box. I'll go ahead and put a link to those, in the video. But essentially, what they are is a 12S 1P. They're pretty neat. Each of these little modules, you see, kind of like one, two, three little pizza box kind of things going on here, with some ventilation in the middle. They basically got four little packs per layer. So it's a 1P 12S positive, back and forward, back and forward, back and forward, down here to this bus bar, bounce over, and then boom, boom, boom up to the negative. So pretty cool configuration, but it didn't leave me a lot of room with my inverters and stuff and my plans to be able to kind of try to keep these things at a state of charge somewhere between 20 and 80%. It just seemed to me like it'd be much better to go ahead and go with a 14S configuration. But what do I know? Because I make bad decisions. So anyway, what I've been building are these things, and it's working out really well. Being able to click these things together takes a little bit of work to modify. The bottom three to basically pull off these terminals on the bottom. Takes a little bit of work to modify the top three to pull off the bus bar that would normally have been right here. But the most amount of work is going into breaking one of these down into its individual little layers to be able to smack kind of in the middle here. So I guess kind of take a little step back. Basically what I've got is, one of these things with these ripped off, one more little layer smushed in here, and then a whole nother one of these sitting on top with that bus bar removed. So essentially now what I've got is a 14S configuration by going, positive and then just straight down, boom, 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 down here, catch 14 cells through these 7 layers. And then over here is another system. So basically it's 14S 2P by configuring these things using essentially 2 1/3 of these to make one of those. And it's kind of cool, like they click together, everything's all nice and tight. I don't have to rig up some bullshit for that. The little covers fit on the back. It's all right. For a budget battery build, this is turning out to be pretty cool. I bought 42 of these packs from Battery Hookup. By the way, non-affiliated, but what a cool little business those guys run. Hopefully, be doing some business with them again soon. But we got 42 of these. They actually came in, whatever. I'll send a link to that in a minute. But they came in a much bigger box with a bunch of other goodies, with some fuses and bus bars and 48 VDC to 12 VDC converter, and a neat little basically a contactor that's driven off 12 volts. Works great. So yeah, and then basically to do this work doesn't really take too long. It takes about an hour to turn, to build basically 3 of these. I've been building them in chunks of 3, and to do so, I guess we'll cover some of the tools that I've been using. Got your, handy dandy angle grinder / CNC machine / everything you need. Been using the old, you don't need a tool quite this fancy, but I've been using these to trim off this little top layer right here. Just this weird little cable routing thing for the bus bars that were there. Just prevents the things from sitting flat. So I've been trimming those off. And then coming back with the, oh, let me move my water out of the way, sorry. Then coming back with the sander, just kind of sanding that down. That glass fiber reinforced plastic. It's kind of a bitch on the sandpaper and the saw, but it gets through it. So yeah, we need our water, so let's move the water out of the way. Some wide nose vice grips, they have been super handy. Cover more of this later in the actual, tearing it down and building it up kind of stuff, but damn things work great, super handy. Gonna need some straight cut sheet metal pliers, or sheet metal snips, whatever. For what you're doing here, I encourage you to get the shitty tools, because when you touch two things, touch a couple of terminals together and cause a little sparky, as you may see here. Yeah, a little sparky, blew the tips off those bad boys. So got a couple of those from the old 4Freight, the old Schittsburg. Here's one of those, the old Schittsburg micro flush cutter. So yeah, you might want to get a couple of those. You're going to want a good knife. And a good knife and good blades, you can really put some weight into the blade itself. You need something stiff and sturdy. That's what she said. But no, seriously, you want something that you can really put some effort into, because a good quality knife, this is the thing I've been using the most, and can't stress enough, something that fits your hand well, that you can really bear down on and put some weight on. This is most of the effort right here. So good blades, not affiliated with Stanley. They probably make this piece of shit anymore, but I've had this since forever. It just fits my hand really well, so it's been great. Probably gonna want some little snippers, whatever. Also another set of vice grips, just whatever you've got's gonna work. The old channel locks. Probably gonna want some little needle nose, because there's a few times in here when we're working that you're gonna want to get in there and play operation. And as you may notice, we've blown the tips off these bad boys. Somehow or another I shorted them out on like a 24 volt strain, and just really ate the head right off. But you're going to want a flathead screwdriver that you can really put the grunt into, something that's got got some miles on it, not something nice or something that's easily bendable. And then the last couple things, you're going to want at least a 1/4 inch decent drill bit, still pretty sharp. And you're going to want something to make some pilot holes. This is just some bullshit stuff that I had sitting around that's still sharp and I haven't, eaten the teeth off of yet. You're going to want a roto tool, and I found this little I don't know, stone abrasive wheel thing has been working pretty good. So yeah, that's kind of it for all the tools we're going to need. Probably take a break here, maybe get hydrated, and then come back and get into the actual breakdown of these things. And what I've found has been working the best so far, through a shitload of error and trial and some more error and failing really, really hard. But hey, nothing good comes of anything unless you fail the hell out of it. So anyway, we'll be back in a bit.